How to test an AI chatbot. The problem with testing a chatbot is when you ask a question the first time, you get an answer. And if you ask the same question a second time, you might get a different answer. But in both cases, the answer might be correct. So how can you test this with the classic testing approach, which we know from our software development projects? Probably the answer is we need something else. And I am using a second AI to test the chatbot, and the second AI is checking if the answer is as expected or not. And how to do this, that's what I want to share in this video. So welcome to my channel, Agile Coding. My name is Elmar Brauch. I'm software developer and architect. And if you enjoy the content, please give me a thumb up and subscribe to my channel. Let's have a detailed look at the problem. Here I prepared a chat service test, testing the chat service, which I built previously with Spring AI. Check this video for details. There you will also see what's about this question around the internet connection. But now we will focus on testing. So here we have a Spring Boot test testing the chat service. We have the chat service injected as a Spring Bean. And in this chat test, we are using this chat service, sending a chat message. Here you see the message, hello, which internet connection is available. We will get a response and compare it with an expected string. The idea is now the test failed, of course, the first time because to do is not the expected answer and not the actual answer. So let's see how it failed the first time. And here we have now the chat message which we need. I copy it, I paste it here so that we compare it in a second test. I rerun my test. And what we will see now is we will get a new answer from the AI, but it will be different than the one we had here because an AI is not deterministic. So the response is not always the same and it will have probably the same meaning. So the answer is both times correct, but the test fails because it's not equal. And if we look to it, here we see the difference. Here it's talking about exact information as an additional filling word, and it's not here in this. So that makes a difference. The test fails if we test it like this. And that means we need a different approach. And next thing I will show you is an AI testing this chatbot. Okay, same class, but adapted content. We have now additionally an AI response rater. That is something self-developed to rate the quality of the answer we get from the chat service. And let's look in the test. Yeah, the test works like this. It's iterating over a list of golden answers. So let's check the golden answers. What is this? Here I'm just reading a file. I take it as an input stream and I wrap it into a list of golden answers. A golden answer is simple data class. You see it has the user message and an expected response. Yeah, here you can see the golden answers are coming from a JSON file. The JSON file is this one here. You see a list of user messages and the expected answer to this. Yeah, so the idea is that this test is actually doing 4 tests, 4 different questions and 4 different expected answers. And we iterate over those golden questions and answers, and then we do a one message test. Yeah, the one message test is shown here. It's again calling the chat service, sending the user message to the chat service. We get back an AI response. We send the content of the AI response together with the user message to a rater, and that is the next thing I will show you. The rater gives back a rating. A rating is just again the user message to identify which question was rated and a score. And then the test is checking the score. If it is equals or less 1, the test fails. And if it is bigger than 3, it's out of range and it also failed. So the rater has to rate every answer of the AI with a value with a value of 1, 2, or 3. 1 is a failed answer, 3 is a good answer, and 2 would be an acceptable answer. Yeah, that's the idea of this rater. And let's look now in the rater. The rater has its own rating client, so it has an own chat model and it's using an own chat client, so it connects against a large language model. In my previous video, you see how this works. Yeah, and what is the rater doing? In the rate AI response, we have the user message, the expected string, and the actual message coming from the chatbot we are testing. We wrap the user message in a user message filling a template. We have a system prompt, and then we send the prompt against the large language model, which is testing our chatbot. That happens here. And the response we get is directly passed into the rating class, so that we have again the user message and the rating. That happens all in those 4 lines. So let's check the last missing part, and that is the system prompt and the user message. We start first with a system prompt. And here we are explaining what the large language model to test the other one shall doing. Your task is to rate the quality of an existing RAG chatbot, an AI chatbot. And you will always get messages in a special format, which is the AI response to be rated, placeholder. The user wrote this message to be answered by the AI, another placeholder, and then the expected response. Keep in mind the golden questions. Yeah, here we have the question, and here we have the expected response, and then the rater needs also the AI response, which is then rated. Yeah, and then I'm explaining, compare the placeholder AI response with the expected response. That happens here, and then score this by following the following logic, and then I explain what is a 1 score, what is a 3 score, and what is a 2. Actually, in practice, for me, it's more like the answer is similar and it fits to the expected answer or not. I tried it by scoring, but in practice, I had issues with the scoring of not having always a good example for an answer in medium quality. Yeah, though I have examples for a good answer, and the wrong answer is mostly pretty clear. It has nothing to do with a good answer. And the things in the middle are really hard to find. We have the user message, and that's actually just this template, what I mentioned before. AI response to be rated is user wrote this message to be answered by AI. We have here those placeholders, and yeah, in those 2 steps, we are building those messages and replacing the placeholders. So let's see this test now in action. Actually, we will have now 4 tests, because every question will be answered and compared, and then we get the ratings. So let's have a look also at the expected answers, that we can compare it a little bit better. The test is starting the whole Spring Boot application, and which contains the RAG chatbot. The first one got a rating of 2. The question was, which internet connection is available on land? And then we get here an explanation. And you see the first parts are the same, but here with bandwidth, it's different, because then it's explaining here about innovative saltwater connection. The answer is correct, but it's not so close to the expected one. If we compare it with the second question, I live in the town Trautheim, which bandwidth is available there. And let's compare those. Here we see it's pretty much the same. It's talking that it is available. It's here in different words, but then it's explaining the bandwidth. So probably that fits pretty good to what we have here. And that's why the second one was rated with a 3 point. It continues for the other 2 questions, and that is how we test the AI. In case that this test would fail because the rating is just 1, then we have to fine-tune our RAG chatbot to improve it so that the test passes. And if we change it in the future, we can re-execute this and ensure that our changes didn't make the RAG chatbot worse and it fails now. So this is a way how we can automate the tests of an AI chatbot.